President issued an executive order saying he would, quote, restore and strengthen our own asylum system, which has been badly damaged by policies enacted over the last 4 years and contravened our values and caused needless human suffering. Our reporting, others' reporting, indicates the White House, through sources in the administration, is open to an authority that would allow it to suspend asylum processing when there's a spike in border crossing. Wouldn't that be a major policy reversal and revert back to the previous 4 years?
I'm just not going to go into sourcing from here. I'm not going to get into specifics. That the president did put forth, and you laid that out in your question, a comprehensive immigration reform plan. He did that on day one, and it is going on 3 years. On 3 years.
He spent pushing that
on
bill
3 years. Here's the
because
thing.
he's met with them on foreign policy, on fiscal cliffs,
and we
on
have,
budget, and it's never been about immigration.
And we have regular conversations with congressional leaders, and when you put out your first piece of legislation is on this issue, is on reforming immigration, right? Is on fixing.
Flat when you spend very little public time as president talking about the issue, meeting with congressional leaders on the issue specifically, or doing anything else other than having you come out here and say, we issued a bill on day one.
I disagree. It's not just issue a bill. And when you put forth the first piece of legislation to be on this issue that has been broken for decades, I mean, that's what he did as president. That's taking it very, very seriously.
This Ukraine money for border policy negotiations. In the last 24 hours, 10,000 illegal border crossings, southwest border. Would you admit that the border policy, the Biden border policy so far has not worked?
What I will say is that we have known for decades, that the immigration policy is, the immigration system is broken. We've said that over and over again the past couple of decades. The president has put forth a comprehensive immigration policy legislation on his first day to deal with this issue. Republicans refuse. They refuse to deal with this issue. It's been almost 3 years since he put forth that legislation. So we're going to do what we can do from here.
About 1,000 of these illegal border crossers every day are getting away to parts unknown in the U.S. Does the president think that is a national security risk?
Here's what I'll say. One of the ways that we also have to look at this is what congressional Republicans have refused to do. They refused to support previous requests from the president. What they've asked to do actually hurts the issue, hurts the problem that we're seeing at the border.
Some of the items up for discussion, the policy changes the president alluded to, would severely curtail asylum in the United States, in some cases potentially tightening policies beyond where they were under his predecessor, whose immigration policies he was sharply critical of, and in some cases even beyond that. Why is that acceptable to the president who was so critical of his predecessor's immigration policies?
Look, I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to stand on left out.
A piece of legislation that tightens asylum policies tighter than they were under his predecessor.
I'm just not going to get into hypotheticals from here.